In the shadows of bustling cities, a nameless killer stalked the streets, preying on society's most vulnerable, known only as the Stoneman. This elusive figure left a trail of terror and death. Decades later, the Stoneman murders remain one of India's most haunting unsolved mysteries. The year was 1989 and the city of Kolkata, India was in turmoil. A series of gruesome murders rocked the city, all bearing the same chilling signature: homeless individuals found bludgeoned to death with a heavy stone, their heads crushed as they slept on the streets. The killing sent shockwaves through the city. The first victim was discovered near the Howrah Bridge, a lifeline of Kolkata. Then more bodies appeared, each murder eerily similar, with no signs of a struggle or witnesses. By the time the city realized a serial killer was on the loose, at least a dozen lives had been claimed. The victims were all destitute individuals, their deaths ignored by a society that often turned a blind eye to the plight of the homeless. This lack of attention only emboldened the killer, who continued to strike with impunity. The Kolkata police launched an intensive investigation, but the case was plagued with challenges. The lack of forensic evidence, reliable witnesses, or a clear motive left investigators grasping at straws. The randomness of the attacks made it nearly impossible to predict the killer's next move. The media dubbed the killer the Stoneman, a name that spread fear throughout the city. Citizens began avoiding certain areas at night, and homeless sought refuge in groups, hoping safety could be found in numbers. The murders stopped as abruptly as they had started, leaving Kolkata to wonder if the killer had fled or simply gone dormant. But the terror was far from over. Just 2 years later, in 1985, similar killings began in Mumbai. Over a dozen victims were found murdered in an identical fashion. Theories swirled. Was it the same Stoneman who had moved cities, or was this a copycat killer? Despite the similarities, no definite connection was ever established between the Kolkata and Mumbai cases. To this day, the identity of the Stoneman remains unknown. The lack of resolution has only deepened the mystery, spawning countless theories. Some speculate that the killer was a vagrant, blending in with the very population he targeted. Others believe the murders were the work of someone with a deep-seated hatred for the homeless, driven by a twisted sense of power. The case is a stark reminder of the vulnerability of marginalized communities and the challenges law enforcement faces when investigating crimes against those often overlooked by society. For the families of the victims and the cities affected, the fear and pain linger. The Stoneman murders remain one of India's most infamous unsolved serial killer cases, a haunting enigma that continues to fascinate and terrify. The Stoneman murders are a dark stain on the history of two of India's largest cities, a chilling reminder that some shadows can never be fully illuminated. Decades have passed, but the ghost of the Stoneman still haunts those who dare to walk alone under the cover of darkness.